put that whole. Oh, you already live, nigga. Goddamn.
Big too big on the nose. Yeah, we gotta let it warm on up, man. We gotta let it warm up like a box shell.
Coming on there, man.
Well, yeah, man.
We on 96.
Fresh.
96. 96,
something, man.
96. Yep. Today's topic is just simply let's talk. Let's talk. See Herman coming over there from the cut over there. Yeah, you see him? See his shadow right now. Goddamn, Barbershop Stories, the podcast, episode 96. Of course, we got Sammy No-Nos up in here, then we got a special guest. You know, he'll pop in
I'm a
from
cook,
time to
man.
time. We got old Corey. It's on us. Pete, right up in here today. So if you would, share this on your platform. We got K1 on the ones and twos, and I ain't talking about no speakers or nothing. We're talking on a mic and a laptop. So we're gonna make sure it is right. And then of course, if you don't want to watch it on the Facebook, you can watch it live on our YouTube page.
Yes, sir, you can.
The YouTube page is search Mac Man Entertainment or Benny Mac or Barbershop Stories. If you subscribe, make sure you press the little button on there so you can keep up with anytime something on the page drop. What up, Shantae? What's happening?
Is that
Going on? Well, like you said, man, we just sitting there talking about a whole bunch of random things, man. There's a lot of shit that's around us from our city to your city and abroad. So, hey, I just felt like shit, we need to talk about it.
Yeah, man.
Just need to talk about it. Yeah,
Let her rip.
Come on in.
Feel free to ask a question or two.
Come on in. There you go. That's it for you. Come on now. Come on. Ease on around there and show this sharp ass outfit I got on when we get to a certain number. Come on. God damn it, come on.
Yeah, man.
All right, it is. All right, I think that's about close enough. That's about close enough. Let me come on around. All right, man. All right. Welcome to another episode, Barbershop Stories Podcast, man. I am comedic narrator, haircut, slang, Benny Mac. That gentleman now, he gonna tell you who he is when he gonna tell you.
Well, yeah, of course, everybody know I am Corey. I've been here for a little while. The Barbershop, so hey, we're going to have a good discussion today. I don't know what the topic is, but yeah, we just going to have a good discussion there. We're going to see what y'all want to ask us, I guess.
All right. And that gentleman now, he'll tell you who he is.
Hey, I'm 45, staying alive, man. Y'all know we keep that info for you, man. No nose in here. You know, we're going to chop it up, barbershop style. Of course, no guest invite tonight, but hey, we up in here, you know, just chilling, barbershop store. Y'all know Corey, he's a usual barbershop store co-host with us too, but if you want to count him as a guest tonight, that's what it is, but you know, he family up in here too, man. We're going to roll like this. Man, and hey, you know, what's going on outside, you know, the barbershop, you know.
Well, I don't know. I started
What's going
off
on
like this.
outside the shop, you know.
Well, I started off like this.
We
right
know
now,
what's going on in the shop.
in our city, you know, of course, it's a real big thing going on for Birmingham now. You got the World Games. And along with the World Games, you know, it take a lot of stuff to get it to that point. Far from investing in the infrastructure, existing infrastructure, trying to make it look better, getting venues ready, hotels, Airbnbs, and it's a whole bunch of aspects I think that can be, you know, they can be good for our city. You know, of course, I talk shit about Birmingham having the World Game, because then we can fuck that. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say it make that shit sound like it's fine. But I will say this, is one of
The
those.
NIT of the Olympics.
Yeah, okay, that's even better. NIT at the Olympics. All right, that's cool.
I get that.
But I think
But it's him.
I think it's gonna be big for Birmingham though, because by Birmingham, I guess they look at us like a little kind of like a little shutout city, throw all the little leftovers our way. But Birmingham is actually a city at the time of the growth, and the time we see what's happening with the World Games coming. It's kind of like, hey, it's gonna be definitely a good look on the city, man. Especially with entrepreneurs making money, because there's a lot of money making opportunity with the World Games. So,
Yes, sir. Hey, I think. First of all, I'm gonna say what I say in the shop. all the time about it, man. I think Birmingham gonna make the world game look good. Cause I'm an avid sports watcher, and most avid sports watchers out there, people who watch sports, kind of and keep up with them, and follow them, not just when something big going on, Super Bowl or whatever, NBA final. I watch them and kind of follow them, what I'm saying, sport for sport. So like I said, the World Games is viewed like an NIT of the Olympics, but I think being here and the way Birmingham moving as far as trying to build something in the inner city, I think it's gonna be a good look at the end of the day. I mean, you got I think over 3,600 athletes alone, traveling. So that, that's a good crowd by itself, and you should, I'm sure staff and trainers and all that stuff come with it. So
But see, the thing is,
business is gonna flourish.
we got a lot of this stuff coming. Excuse me, but what about when all this stuff leaves, though? Where Birmingham gonna be at then? You know what I'm saying?
Say that again.
I say, well, where Birmingham gonna be at once all this stuff is over?
Leave.
You see what I'm saying? So we need more things, more than just, I think, just the Olympics coming to the city. You know what I'm saying? I think, a dome would have been perfect because, you got other things going on. You got concerts. You got other things that could be going on in the dome besides just, in an open air stadium. You can't do too much due to the weather.
Garf sold it out. I think Garf was a good look.
Yeah, on a perfect
Garf
day.
was a great look.
The weather was perfect on that day.
Yeah, Garf was a great look.
I think, we got to really pay attention to what's going to go on after the World Games, too, though, because, with inflation going on, too, like, where we going to be at?
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Right. I think that I think personally, just kind of watching the city and how it's growing, I don't think they really made no out the way investments for the World Games specifically, which means that the infrastructure that's here gonna kind of be what it's gonna be. It's just gonna have an influx around that time. You know what I'm saying? Because really, if you think about it now, if they built a major facility for this, a major facility for that, then I might say, I'm kind of scared for them. But really, if you think about it, the stuff that they were building anyway. It really kind of, to me, turned into an opportunity for people who got a bunch of properties and stuff like that, because Airbnbs gonna make a killing, hotels, motels, food trucks, and it's gonna be a lot of folks that benefit, which I think that was gonna benefit anyway, because they're in the city.
Yeah, it was surplus for, like you say, but so at a certain point of time, it's like it's gonna be a cutoff. You know what I'm saying? Saying like,
it's gonna end.
It's gonna, what's gonna continue going on to keep these certain businesses, these small businesses keep going. You see what I'm saying? What's gonna sustain, the
world
economic stuff? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think they may be also banking on it too with something like the World Games coming. You got a lot of TV cameras here too, so they also may be looking at it like, okay, if the city look good, everything works out good, you keep down your statistics on crime and stuff like that, other people may want to follow suit. Because, sometimes when you do certain things like this for your city, it's marketing. It's marketing too. That's why that they've been cleaning up shit like their mom on the way to the house.
Yeah.
So, because they know when you get, like I said, 3,600 athletes by itself, plus, a couple folks, spectators that's going to be around, you could easily have an extra 15,000, 20,000 people in the city that never been here, which could be new residents, new people want to bring a business here. It's different things they see when. Yeah, I think that'd be the goal.
Yeah, that'd be
the goal.
Yeah, if you're in the right areas, you're most definitely gonna see maybe a difference with the casual crowd moving around, eating and doing their thing. But like you said, the World Games is usually not a big time attraction like the Olympics, as far as viewers and people watching it and anticipating it. And that's just being honest about being a sport watcher. But coming to a city like Birmingham, what I was saying in the beginning about Birmingham making the World Games look good, cause certain improvements downtown, and you know you got eateries down there.
A lot of eateries.
You got of course 2 stadiums now. So you know what I'm saying. I'm hearing events gonna go back and forth. You know what I'm saying, and as well as other places like the Sportsplex. So that crowd gonna be moving around in a certain area. So and you know they're gonna be wherever the hotels are. So if you're in those areas of business, you're gonna get some type of influx of traffic from the World Game. But if you're in the inner city, just say on the back streets, you may not ever see no World Games is here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Until you get out.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, until you get out and actually move around where it's happening there, you really, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be like, you know, okay, all right, if I watch it on the news, I knew it was here, but, you know, that's the type of event it is, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yep. All right, now, Earl Campbell, hey, we appreciate you tuning in too, Earl. Earl said in order to get a dome, Birmingham has to have a pro team, but there are no pro teams here. All right, now, Earl, excuse me. I think that's a yes and a no. I think
Bring 'em.
I think if you have a dome stadium, I think it turns your city into to a multi-use town. Everything from trade shows to neutral games to conventions to concerts to a whole thing. I think it can work without a pro team, and I think if you got it, eventually it will attract a pro team. But I don't think you necessarily have to have a pro team to have one, because you got to think about it too, Earl. It ain't nothing but about 10, 12 domes in a whole 50 states.
Mm-hmm.
So if we would have got one, I think we would have seen that growth speed up. I think it would have forced the hand on certain stuff having to grow, because it would have been so much traffic coming through. That means hotels, motels, more eateries, which increased the tax base. I think it would have, but the only thing about it, who wanted to start off with the first amount of money that it was going to take to build it, and did the city really want it, or do they want to look for the city? So I think it would have worked though, Earl.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
honestly think it would have worked too, cause like you say, you had a different events coming to the dome. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just football. You had concerts. You had all kind of different things that would come in there. So, you know, and like you say, it would have opened up doors for a lot of different, you know, people to come to the city that would want to invest in a team. You know what I'm saying? So.
and then not to shift the conversation so much, but it's still on the same thing. It's almost like, you know, you getting a demo with the USFL, but it's always possibilities to bring a team. You know,
Right.
When the league is open for negotiating for expanding franchise, your city has to line up with it and accommodate with it. Don't get me wrong. So we ain't gonna just rule us out of the possibilities of ever getting a team or anything.
Yeah, we'll probably be by now, haters.
We support
Now,
sports here. It's just not what, you know, what's traditional, because we haven't had pro franchises. But I think it's always like it's a window open now. I think in the next couple of years they looking for expansion in the NFL. So you know you never know. And then you know that's how the what's our team name? Not the Pelicans, but they subsidiary, the Squadron. That's how they ended up here, because the past regime was actually going to whatever the municipal mayor William Bell's cabinet. They was actually going to different events, scouting. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be one of the scout cities for a pro franchise. So it's not always out of the question. It's just the politics and plus accommodating for it. But we see that the city will accommodate for stuff by looking at the World Game. And it's not going to even be here 2 weeks. We talking about something here that's going to be here for at least, you know, as long as the pro owners getting what they want from the citizens and the city, and they, you know, decide to keep their franchise here.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you ask me, this is just my opinion, and you know, like I said, we always talk about it on here. B, you already know, we tired of people always, you know, coming in the shop talking about or anywhere talking about, you can't be subjective about certain politics or politics, period. You can be objective about it, you know what I'm saying? That's the word I meant to use, objective. You can be objective about the politics that's going on, because that's why we pay taxes. We have voices, and you communicate. You never know who you inspire to vote or see things a certain way. So it's all about communicating, especially in the barbershop.
Yeah, I
And to
think
throw
you
it,
should.
not to cut y'all, but to throw in there too though, just to ask a question. Do you think UAB can be just as popular as UA?
From what I know, I would say
Do you think
I
that
would,
they
I would say yes and no. Well, because one, UA is the dog, and UAB is a subsidiary of UA, which means that I control what goes in and out.
Exactly.
But
So
on the other hand, if the team, you end up with a good enough team, you can start getting popularity.
Why exactly? Why not? Because UAB is a multi-billion-dollar school, right? All right, exactly. So
the focus is not football, though.
Exactly.
The
focus is medical. But you can actually get the recruit the players that you need, the big name players. You can get who you need.
No
you
reason
can turn that team into another UA.
But you have the same board of trustees, so
Right.
it's the same. It's the same play, man.
Exactly.
Just like UAH or
It's control.
Yeah. But
There's one thing I wish a lot of people would stop saying about Birmingham getting the NFL team. Oh man, ain't nobody gonna support them. Just
We'll
suppose
support.
we got one.
Exactly.
We got the worst
We'll
record in the
support.
league. Who wouldn't pay to see Dallas? Who wouldn't pay to see Brady play?
Exactly.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
They come
That
in.
in
you gonna get
itself-
your first pick. You
Right.
keep
Yeah.
getting whooped.
Yeah.
come
You
to
gotta
see
pick
it,
'em right.
Yeah.
But see, a lot of times too, what people don't realize with them, with the NFL, the difference between your semi-pro and your NFL. Your NFL, you got stats that you can follow. So, like you said, if, I'm gonna say for an example, if Birmingham was playing Tampa Bay, so you got Birmingham playing Tampa Bay. You get folks from all around too now,
Yeah, right.
within an hour or two away in some
Everybody that
instances
want to come see them.
that want to come see them, plus your home team.
Right.
So I think that just the names a draw, like you said, names a draw. You out there the same way like USFL when they get certain names is because they know people. Oh, let me go see such and such.
That's right. But on the point, I ain't want to let it go while we on the ball. And I'm glad you brought UAB up in the middle of that, cause, bruh, at the end of the day, like I said, we just seen Garth do it. We all know concerts gonna pretty much, you know what I'm saying, sell a little bit better than sports in that stadium right now. I would love for an amphitheater been downtown and a few more trinkets around it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I ain't the mayor and I ain't ran, but that's my thought as a citizen of, and somebody born and raised here. But Legion Field looked damn good on TV last week when they had Garth Brooks at Protected. I'm trying to see, why we built it. Other than being able to take advantage of some taxpayer money that you know what I'm saying, that may, come out even kill or may even over, but we already know it's really standing the chance to be a terrible investment. You know what I'm saying? Right. Versus doing something else that would have been, you know what I'm saying, just as entertaining or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They seem fit, you know what I'm saying?
I would say revitalize Legion Field because you got
but
parking.
I didn't see it. I ain't see a thing wrong with Legion. I was watching the game. I was down in Texas watching the game on TV at the hotel.
It looked good on TV.
At the bar, and it looked just good as anywhere else.
Yeah, I think that in a perfect world, because I think we all got our thoughts and imagination of what we could have saw the city being. Now, if it was me,
built the amphitheater.
If it was me personally, I would have made that investment in the Civic Center and redid it. I think that was a good move. Right. But instead of doing, if we was gonna choose to open that stadium, I mean another stadium, I would have done a dome.
Yeah,
if the plan was to open that stadium, I would have just redid the one. Then I think it would have been more in the city's interest to do it, as far as financially. I would have probably done more family fun. And family fun, bowling alley, skating rink, ice skating rink, aquarium, outdoor track, something like a laser tag facility or something like that. A few more restaurants, couple more hotels. That's a steady stream of income
Yeah.
that never dies. Because when you go to thinking about stuff like stadiums, even though we're speaking about football, but you got to think about how many people just like to say, "Oh, let's go to the game," especially in outdoor weather. So I think Family Fun would have been more of an investment in the city investing around Legion Field of $3 million a year for 10 years over there. What it would have done to that area
Oh, my
and the
goodness.
neighborhoods. So I think I kind of be thinking about the city making more money off of it so they can reinvest in their own.
I can't remember which team it was from. Y'all can check the YouTube, whatever. But one of them coaches got on their ass before they played down there, Legion. Like the lighting and different stuff. They changed different stuff before they played in.
He
I
was
mean,
saying,
why
one of
not
the
been
old
done
coaches.
it, you know?
Yeah, I think that was the one of the Orlando team.
Could
One
have
of the
been.
coaches. Yeah, he was saying that. He was like, these the same lockers from years ago that they had when I was down here. Because I think he played against somebody on Legion Field years ago or whatever. But
Ain't no
yeah,
doubt.
man,
They
that
took
stuff
a
can be
drone shot
upgraded.
of that stadium coming into it. I had to look twice. I wondered where the shot come from. It didn't look like that around the area.
Yeah,
Legion Field. It was a nice shot.
It looked good, man. I'm telling you, it looked good.
Man, Legion
Yeah,
Field.
That bowl, that thing looked good on there.
Yeah, man.
It looked good, mostly empty.
But,
Yeah, well,
It's a good crowd out there, but of course, Legion bigger than
Mm-hmm.
Protective, so of course it swallowed that little crowd, but it still looked good. Just the stadium itself, you can imagine it for.
you got parking, man. You got parking, plenty of parking.
Yeah.
And you go
The
down to
field.
Protective Stadium, man. First of all, you got all people parking all up on the freeway. Think about when all that traffic get ready to exit out. Man, it's gonna be a disaster, man. It's bad enough that Birmingham ain't that
Over there,
big,
man.
you know.
Cars towed
Man,
and all
man,
kinds
all
of
that.
tickets.
Man, it's gonna be crazy, man. Trying to ace up all that. Rob Brooks, they say brought out 55,000 people.
Something you're gonna have to get used to, though.
Man,
Yeah.
golly.
well, I guess what in other news, big topic been talking about gun control.
Oh,
They've been talking about the Senate. They've been talking about the folks, Republicans, Democrats. You got your Aboriginal folks here. You got your Caucasians here. You got your everybody. They talking about gun control, pow pow, bang bang, ban on switches, all that. So, I guess I'm gonna pose a question to you all. Honestly, what type legislation could they pass on gun control that will actually work? And the reason why I say that, and before y'all answer this, I don't think gun control is for law-abiding citizens. I mean, for criminals, no way. It's for law-abiding citizens. You trying to catch people who doing what they doing. What type of legislation or what you think can actually be done to actually curb this and some type of gun control?
Well, I always feel, always in the shop, I always say the same thing. I think you need to raise the open and carry law, back up to 21.
at least Mike can stand to go on.
It's all, that's, to me, it's just crazy. You can give an 18-year-old a gun, but he can't even buy no tobacco products. He can't buy alcohol, but he can have a gun. It don't make sense. So,
Shouldn't have never came down.
Exactly. But, this state, they make money off prison. That's the cash cow right there. So, of course, they're going to let you have your gun because, the whole objective is to lock you up or, get rid of one of you. So,
Crazy part
it's
is,
a trap.
it ain't like these assault, weapon crimes and stuff that start happening and you lower the age during the time, know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That people fighting to get this stuff changed over anyway now.
Right.
Let me be the first to say that I'm for being able to protect yourself, and I don't feel like it's a way to rid to every gun out of every house or anything like that. But of course, the age limit could stand to be raised at least back to the limit that it was at federally, and then honestly, it can stand to maybe even go a little steeper.
I think it
But
go higher.
but you know, in maybe with certain stipulations on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you've been in certain type of situation with a gun before, or certain behavior patterns, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you have to wait to a certain age limit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't finna sit up here and play like I'm politician, like I sit in there and make those type of decisions that they have to make. But we all know that some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion, it ain't just politics. You know what I'm saying? Not the politics we watching on TV on the news. It's something deeper that's running gun control. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask y'all this though. Now this just kind of just to try to play both sides. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now, on one hand, I think that some politicians, not all, they base it off the stats. So when you go to thinking about all these gun deaths, because you got to remember now, they ain't say what type death, they just say gun deaths, right? So if they saying gun deaths, by the gun, all right. So if I'm a person that's manufacturing guns, I'm thinking about myself. All right, that's one. Whether people don't want to believe that or not, those people invest a lot of money to keep this shit off them dockets. All right, other thing I look at, what percentage of this is suicide? What percentage of this is regular shootings? What percentage of this is murders? What percentage of, you know what I'm saying? So when you go to thinking about it, it's almost like, and I don't have those numbers right off the back of my head. I got them in my head, but I don't know them to exact. So I suggest folks just look that up. I think they look at a lot of that and they try to determine like, Then you got to think about this too. It always been about 16 years old, I know, in Alabama for a hunting rifle. It always have been that. Now, guns, on the other hand, it's kind of like the law changed. It just made it a little bit more out there. Because when you turn 21, you could always get a gun.
The rifles and stuff like that, right?
You had to have a permit
younger than 21
to conceal it.
Right.
But now they're saying 18 and all that. Now, my thing is, because honestly, for some reason, it ain't going to go back up, I don't think.
Nah.
Based off those numbers I said, and we'll look that up too with the suicides, the murders, the accidentals, and see. And then look at how many guns out there. Somebody
They'll
making
give
a lot of
restrictions
money.
in certain places, but they ain't going back up.
They put more guns out, because they just built a new prison. So, I was watching the news the other day. They automatically, they got some little plastic guns now that's out now. You can't even detect them. Who putting this stuff on the streets? Come on, man. Who you think putting it out there?
3D chrome and stuff like that.
You see what I'm saying? It's just these folk, they creating crime. You see what I'm saying? So crime don't pay for the person creating it, but crime do pay somebody.
It's just me, but harsher sentencing for the people that's doing it. If you can't go overseas nowhere and steal, then they'll cut off your finger.
Yeah, right.
That's a deterrent right there to take something.
Oh, yeah.
Over here they'll call it
Great point.
inhumane, but we the most inhumane country, and I know of.
Great point.
I think those harsher sentences would deter a lot of
Yeah.
it.
But see, the thing is though, as what Corey just said, lawyers, judges, probation officers,
Get paid.
tasks, that shit is a real live money game. You know what I'm saying? That really does keep the system running. And it's like, from what I've started to realize about the system, is the best thing to do is learn what you need to know to thrive in this bullshit. Because you got to be half-ass crazy to even operating this shit for real. Because this shit ain't nothing but turmoil. Right. But the thing is, once you figure out that, all right now, I know if I get caught with this hot-ass gun, I'm going to put myself in this money hole. And then what is money cycle, this merry-go-round of lawyer, judge, DA, prosecutor, jailer. There's a lot of people get paid off your shit.
You going to jail.
So it's like man, I just think that at some point we got to wise up too. Yeah. At some point it's almost like shit just can't keep running into them, man. Cause like I've heard a guy was talking about over sentencing, right? And I agree. We all know it's over sentencing. There's some people get way too much time. But it's almost like, now, if you said K1 don't like you, And K1 told you, if I catch you in my house, what I'm gonna do to you is almost like at some point you gotta stay up at his house.
But you gotta ask, excuse me, but you gotta ask the question too though. How much does that inmate get from the federal government for staying there all them years?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's a big money game. It's a big money
You know
game.
what I'm saying? So of course they gonna give you they gonna over sentence you. They probably gonna make $1 million just off of you.
Yeah, there's a lot of money to be made, but you know, I understand socioeconomics, man. That's tough because it's almost like people study in psychology and all that shit. How if I put, for an example, 5,000 people in an area with 1,000 jobs, and a little dope, and a few pistols, what's gonna happen? Any race of people gonna cut up the same way, but the resources are low.
Resources low.
Already
Exactly.
have.
That's like putting
Some
a pack of
ways.
dogs in a fence with 2 bowls of food.
Yes, sir.
Is you cutting up?
Nobody they gonna cut
Or
up,
less.
man. Or less. You know
There's
what I'm
gonna be
saying?
some cutting up. Yeah, but I do believe this though. At least if you was gonna lower the age, at least say you can get it, but you got to take 2 weeks of training.
Man,
At least.
I honestly, I think because the 18-year-olds give it to the 16-year-olds. Because you know what I'm saying?
Shit, the 21-year-old.
Exactly. I think
25-year-old
the 21-year-olds ain't really got sense enough to be carrying no gun. But I think, you know, most, you know, if you 18 and you done went to the military or something like that or whatever, you done had some type of training. So, you know, 21, and like Sam was saying, with certain stipulations. But, man, 18, you don't need no gun out here, man. If you can't go in there and buy no tobacco, if you can't buy no alcohol, you don't need no gun. With all that adrenaline, you don't need no gun, man.
So let me ask you this:
Not at 18.
looking on the other side, would you say they shouldn't be able to go to the military until they're 21 too?
I think 18 is a good age to go to the military.
But they got them guns.
I mean, and at least in the military, you getting some type of, you know, discipline, some training with it.
But see,
supervision.
that's why I was
you
saying.
in an
if you
open area where you getting target practice.
But see, that's why I was saying, if you're gonna allow them to get it at 18, they should have to be trained. Because I think you have a different respect for a knife, a gun, a grenade, anything when you see that shit actually working on shit. I think it just play with you different psychologically, because you can watch TV and see people getting killed
Or maybe, you know,
and all that, but to actually doing that shit real life and have to learn it, I think you ain't gonna stop it, but I think you'll deter a few of them because they'll know the seriousness of it.
It's most definitely a situation that got to be resolved there. But man, they ain't gonna
Too
stop.
much
They
killing.
it's too much killing, man. They're not gonna stop killing because, like I say, prison is. They just built a new prison, man. So they got to fill it up.
Well,
All the
but you,
people that looking at these gun shows, you can go there and get what you want.
It's
Same
all about
day.
guns. We in the wild west days, man, in Alabama, man. So you know, it ain't just us, but you know, it really don't make sense that everybody. You got scared people and you got folks that's with the bull out here with the guns. So you know, all that mixed in one pot, you just got a whole bunch of shooting.
Yep.
yeah, you got a lot of foolishness out here. I must admit.
Right along with the, you know, all the stuff that's in the news about the mass shootings. That don't make no sense either.
Yeah, but you know they labeling mass shootings of how they just say my gang into it with K1 gang, and we shoot at each other for some kind of beef, and 6 people get killed. They label that as mass shootings, which I personally don't think is fair to label them in the same. Because a mass shooter, you know, most people in their head, you thinking somebody going to a school, a whole bunch of defenseless people at a store or something like that, and just killing. A dispute, a damn gang beef, that ain't the same as a mass shooting. But I know in the last few stories, I've seen them labeled it as mass shootings. And I don't think that's fair. That kind of, to me, that weakens what mass shootings really are.
Well, Buddy got labeled with the hate crime from Buffalo. They went on officially charged with a hate crime.
Man, yeah, that motherfucker he should have left this hole.
Yeah.
Right there in Buffalo, he should have left this hole.
Mhm.
Cause to me, spending time on a trial, on some shit like that you know happened, that's a travesty. Cause now you're trying to figure out ways how to say, let's get this motherfucker off. Then it becomes a shit show.
I believe they already had all that already set up before he even committed any crime. You know what I'm saying? They had already told him, man, we got you. Just go do it. You know what I'm saying? So I think all that stuff be orchestrated way before it even happened. You know what I'm saying?
So high level possibility.
Yeah, I didn't say you can't rule it out because it done happened before.
These folk, man, they really be plotting this stuff, man. So, you know, it ain't no telling how high, you know, his people is in you know, in the judicial system. So, you know what I'm saying? It ain't really much that we can really do about it when it comes to, you know, dealing with something like that. Cause yeah, they gonna say, yeah, he get this, he get that, he go to jail, but how we really know?
Yeah, motherfucker may never go stay
You see what I'm saying? Hey, erase their whole identity and sit them somewhere in the middle of Wyoming somewhere. Let them live amongst them other folks that's just like them.
Yeah. So, all right, so I guess, you know, because we don't want to stay in here all night, and there's a gazillion things we can talk about. Barbershop Stories, the podcast, episode 96. Let's talk. Sam, Corey, myself, Ben, and Matt. Now, let's talk about this gas, man. I ain't talking about reefer. Talk about this gas, man. Like...
About $6,
that shit is I think that
knocking on the door.
I think that plays a role in that crime too. And crime ain't always got to be your murders and your robberies, but I think shit like petty theft, gas siphoning, pickpocketing, seeing somebody water $20 an hour, shit you normally would have done.
It's a domino effect.
It plays a role in a lot of shit. But that I think that gas we paying back that stimulus money, man. And ain't nobody said shit. Somebody got to pay for that.
Stimulus, unemployment. PPP
I
loan.
feel like that gas is we mobilize and we just haven't been told as a people. I feel like we over there in that Ukraine fighting, but cause you know we already see we got people dying that volunteered to basically fight for them soldiers, that American soldiers that's already there and stuff like that. So I feel like, you know, the grocery store and the stuff you see on the shelves and different things like that are a direct effect of stimulus. So stuff had to go up. I mean, the pandemic, let me put it like that. So stuff had to go up to, I guess, you know, offset what had happened. Mm-hmm. But we seen that gas start decline the more and more heated the Ukraine and Russia situation got. And let's be honest, we pretty much in the bed. Whether they tell us we are or not. So, you know, I feel like we fueling up tanks and planes and all kinds of stuff. We just don't know what.
Well, see, but they got to.
Whether it be tanks and planes, it's something that I believe we mobilize secretly.
They got to be a part of it because when you sit down, they say we sent these folks so many billions of dollars, right?
44 billion.
First of all,
that was the first time.
That's one, you sending their ass some money.
Exactly.
Two, they came on there and it was like they sending them weaponry. Right. So to me, you are in the war.
Yeah, you in it.
You and K1 fighting, and I'm handing you bats and shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna shoot your ass too.
Exactly.
So yeah, you right. To your point, Sam, you are absolutely correct.
Like I said, I think the pandemic is a lot for it, but you gotta think it's money's in place for stuff like pandemics and different things. It's funds already set aside supposedly. You know what I'm saying? So if they tell us that's all we can go off of. You know, it's relief and certain things that's already set up. Not saying that they may not have to go in the big bank. They probably couldn't get it all out the little bank. But hey, I think they fighting dog at the end of the day. I think that's why gas up. They fighting, bro. And when they gonna announce it, I don't know. Whether they on the ground, in the air, on the computer fighting, I don't know, bro.
But you gotta remember too, they letting so many thousands of them folk from Ukraine over here too.
Yeah.
So if they offering them free housing, free this, free that, stamps, free all that shit,
Yeah.
somebody paying for that shit
Somebody
too.
paying.
Not to mention all the
Somebody
stuff that's
paying for
going
that shit.
on in the shipping industries and with all those containers and stuff um, on those docks that was sitting there for years, a couple years. You know what I'm saying, during the pandemic and after. You know, workers' pay went up, different things. You know, so it a lot of stuff go into it. You know what I'm saying? People who do that type of work, you know, they demanded more. Even when the docks opened back up not long ago, and they started back emptying those containers that had stuff, and some of the stuff rotted, you can't even use anymore. So you got to get other stuff shipped. So I think we paying for, you know what I'm saying, in that form during the pandemic too. So I think it all goes hand in hand. But something in my my back pocket telling me, man, we fighting, dog, and I don't think nobody doubts it.
Yeah, I do believe the gas industry, they price gouging
Yeah,
too.
man.
They
Cause-
see an opportunity to make the money.
Cause they making what they say record profit. You can make record profit. That means you see you make a profit your ass ain't never seen before. That's a little price gouging in there too.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But
it's all about money, man, and power.
I think the government though, even from our local, state, regional, and our federal government, I think that it should be capped on certain necessities. Like to me, your water bill shouldn't be no more than $50 a month. Your light bill shouldn't be no more than $50 a month. Your gas bill shouldn't be no more than $50 a month. Gas shouldn't be no more than $1 a gallon. And the reason being is because it's a commodity. Right. This shit like food shouldn't be no taxes on it. Because when you think about that shit for real, everybody pays a utility bill, a water bill, or the majority. I say the majority. So it's almost like that shouldn't even be a question. It's
How
not
much
even an
more
option.
money do you really want? You know what I'm saying? Cause like if you got folks that's out here that's like trillionaires, man, past trillionaires, zillionaires and stuff, man. But what is the problem between all these, war and all that? Really, why not just come together, sit down? We got enough money to do whatever around the world.
But you know what I believe though? I believe all this shit is a Ponzi scheme. Cause think about how a Ponzi scheme work. You come to me and say, man, look, I need to borrow $2 million. I'm gonna give you back 20% on your money. So I'm like, 20%? That's $400,000, right? All right, you say, all right, bet. I tell you, I'm gonna pay you in 6 months. I call Sam. I get him the same way. So I pay you back with the money Sam gave me. Then I pay Sam back with the money K1 gave me. Then I pay basically everybody who invests in.
Paying back everybody.
Everybody paying back. But guess what happens when everybody say, hey, man, my motherfucking money. And I think that's what's going on with the United States. Because you got to think, they've been slapping folk, kicking folks around, lying, stealing, bad medicine, bad drugs, starting wars, starting shit. Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a violent ass Ponzi scheme, but it's a Ponzi scheme. So now I think all the shit we seeing, certain shit is getting caught in just collateral damage, and some shit is intentional, and some shit.
I believe the United States got that money. They just don't want to pay.
Oh yeah. I mean,
they rather kill you than pay you.
Yeah, we done seen that. We done seen that over here.
Yeah, man. These motherfuckers, man. It can be peace all across the board, all the way across the board, man. Really, but. It just motherfuckers just want mad. Motherfuckers want to be mad because they ain't in Millsburg and they just want to create all kind of hate chaos.
Well, like you said, Pat, I think
that we had the same shirt on.
I think that's all right, man. That's all right, man. Church tucked in there, man. But yeah, man. I don't know, man. I think that man, it's just so much going on, man. I'm gonna tell you something. That was a very interesting conversation, man. And I'm sure y'all heard about it with the Roe versus Wade, the abortion, talking about the abortions. All right. Me personally, I never had an abortion. I'm sure it's people that had them, obviously. But, of course, I ain't going to ask somebody their personal business on how they have. But how I feel about that Roe versus Wade, I think it's a little bit deeper than them actually worrying about somebody having children or not. I think one, in politics, from what I've learned, they play games. When I really want you to do this, and we got to pass him, throw this in there too. So that's why when you hear a lot of bills get thrown down, it's because there's a lot of extra bullshit in there. So I think this Roe versus Wade thing, I think is put up to challenge a lot of shit. I don't think they really give a fuck about whether you have an abortion or not. I mean, honestly, but I think that it's something to pull a string from somewhere else, because when you hear people speak about it, when they say shit like pro-choice, that ain't even real. Like, pro-choice is not even real. And I'm gonna tell you why. All right, woman right, woman body, right? So what's the problem with prostitutes? They body their choice, right? And everything, there's a lot of stuff out there that we can give 1,000 examples about. So that's why I say I think it's bigger than what's being said. Now, I've seen and read places where they said that the Caucasian people have a negative birth rate. So they trying to, no, motherfucker, you gotta have it. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, with Planned Parenthood, if y'all know anything, I want to say her name is Margaret Sanger, and how evil a lot of them motherfuckers was with eugenics and shit, and why they came up with Planned Parenthood and these abortions and all that. Because, hey, there's a lot of melanated children disappear behind that shit, too. So it's kind of like, do they really want to stop abortion for real, or is it just a ploy to move on to something else? Because I do believe if a person feel like they need to have an abortion, everybody got their own reason. Who am I to say something like that? 'Cause I ain't going to take care of the motherfucker. So it's like whatever choice you make to deal with you, that's ultimately something you got to deal with. But I think it's something way deeper than what we see on television, that they fight so hard to change some shit that's personal.
I think what you just said is that it's an increase in their birth rate, so a decrease in their birth rate. I mean, so it got to be some way deeper than that for you to all of a sudden holler now. We want you to be able to be in control of what we say, what you do with your body.
Anything, they may go back. I mean, they may go to letting the states decide on their own.
Say states' rights.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Make
want
it a
the
state
state rights,
thing instead of a federal thing. Who knows? That's a deep and touchy topic, but it's real.
I agree, but it's
Joking
something
and
that's
bomb shit and all kinds of shit about that shit. So.
All right.
Yeah, I would call it one thing and it'd be another. That's with this sex trafficking.
Yeah.
I think it's deeper than sex trafficking. I think it's got something to do with people.
Organ harvesting.
Yeah, because I mean, all these young people.
Yeah.
You ain't never heard of a sex trafficker come grabbing an older person and do. All right. It's always younger, with good organs that they can harvest. I think it's deeper than that. I think it's got something to do with them organs.
Yeah, man.
That's
There's a lot of shit going on.
There's too much going on. We don't even.
It's all deep. But I'm with you on that. I think, hey, like I said, if you can fathom it and they showing in these movies, you could even mention a word pertaining to it. It's damn near most definitely real.
Right.
The organ harvesting, I truly believe.
It's big money. They say you work more dead than alive.
But going back to the topic, what you're saying about the abortion thing, though, a lot of people will say that you stopping God from bringing, a child into the world. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's a case by case situation. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Depending on what type of case a person is. So
we was younger, much younger. Of course, when and all this stuff was up for debate the last time, but I know all this stuff, all these different objectives were posed last time. You know what I'm saying? Saying all this stuff. You know, what about this or what about that or God made, you know, and you know. So it'd be interesting to see how it come back out. You know.
Well, it's interesting because one, everybody don't
Somebody
believe in God.
contesting it.
Right.
Everybody don't believe in God. So when I hear people say that, I may say I agree with you, but that other person who don't buy into the same ideology, that's dead. Then some people I done heard different arguments on it, and they really be interesting coming from both sides.
But they got God name in law.
Yeah, because see, on one side, I heard a girl say, okay, so what if this girl got a physical disability or something like that, and she just know, I don't want my baby born like that. All right, that could be one. I heard him say that. I heard a person say, I know I'm fucked up financially. I don't want to bring this baby in this world. I done heard people say, what about rape? What about incest? What about, there's a lot of things that can happen.
A lot of factors.
There's a lot of things that can happen.
Definitely ain't no one-way street. That's for sure.
So I think that just boiled down, like you said, to the individual
I'm
who
not
dealing
for or
with that.
against it
Yeah.
because I
But
don't
you
have
gotta-
to go through that.
But you gotta also think, just throwing a little twist in there though. You gotta think like how many times, like in our younger days, you dealt with a chick or whatever, or a couple of chicks or whatever, and you possibly knew that you could have got her pregnant, right? But how many chicks have you dealt with that you didn't do what you supposed to do, and didn't help? So you also got to look at the fact that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, because
So,
you're
you know what I'm
irresponsible.
saying?
Yeah, they're
But you
irresponsible.
were irresponsible. But we were irresponsible a couple times, and then that never happened.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So being young, you know what I'm saying. You done did a couple of dumb things in your life.
Yeah.
For my fellas, if you know what I'm talking about.
And see,
Yeah, for sure.
So you know what I'm saying. So if you done messed up like that a few times, and then that never happened. And here we is looking at a lot of situations like we were saying, or rape or whatever the situation may be, incest or whatever, and boom, she get pregnant. So thinking about that, you know what I'm saying? What if, how we look at that? You see what I'm saying?
yeah. Hey.
That's a deep one, dog. That's a deep one.
It happens. Well, I tell you this, man, we can pin it right there, and then we can continue it on another episode.
Hold on.
Yeah, it is
Who
it.
gonna win? The Golden State gonna close out tomorrow?
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
gonna
Boston,
go on a
man.
limb and say yeah.
I'm rolling with
Yeah,
Boston.
I'm gonna
man.
say
In
yeah.
Boston.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Boston because
On that checkerboard floor.
Yeah.
yes, cause look,
Glad,
State.
whatever.
Boston really won night before last.
What the score was?
If you but think about it.
I'm
Look,
saying you saying they really won.
but look, Boston came all the way back in the fourth quarter. They balled all four quarters. Boston came all the way back and took the lead in the fourth quarter.
Sports.
Man, dog, they had all kinds of.
Sports.
But look,
Yeah,
cheating
you know
is
what
in
I'm
the
saying?
game too.
Hey, sports.
Don't real
It's in
dog.
the game, man. It's in
Don't
the
real
game.
dog went to calling all kind of bogus calls on everybody, man.
If your team would have
Dog.
won, you would have had the same debate. If they had made bad calls, but your team would have won.
Hey, I'm
Hell
gonna
no.
call it like it is, dog. No, I'm gonna tell them they cheated too. But
Boston
dog,
let one of them games go when they were up 10 and could close out. It might have been the first one or the second one Golden State won. But that was a tough one. Now they let get away from them. I know they feeling that right now because they honestly, could have been playing a closeout game a game ago.
But you gotta
Yeah.
remember, man, Golden
That
State,
ball bounce how it
Golden
bounce.
State run out of gas
Look,
now in the
see,
fourth quarter.
Golden State, they're coached by that white man, and they know how to dribble. They know how to walk to the line and look at the shot they want and make it.
Golden
But
State
see,
live.
Boston got all them niggas. They like to go between their legs, and they foul and stuff, and they don't want to play right.
Hey,
Curry
Boston
for the
look
win.
good, man, for a minute.
Boston utilized
I
that
think
boy
it going
Robert
7.
Robert Williams. I'm telling you, that's what they gonna be their strongest suit at right there.
But watch
Gotta
this
hand that
though.
boy that bill.
But you don't,
Exactly.
but let me ask you this though. You don't think they tried? Like all the time they
They
was in
want to
there,
shoot
like
though.
you don't
They
think
shooting, man.
that-
Tatum forcing the shot.
because somebody put that hardcore lockdown D on them. That made them.
No,
That made them
Draymond
lose.
ain't like him robbing
That-
down like that.
They made them get turnovers. They made them force shots. It's defense. They trust me. Tatum them. If they can shoot 100 for 100, they would.
I
But it's clear now.
really had Golden State winning going in the series, looking at the matchup. But I say it like this: I feel like it's going 7.
You gonna go so?
I feel like it's just been a roller coaster playoff. It's live and die by the 3. You know what I'm saying, for everybody. And whoever had the best shooting night from the 3-point line been winning. It really ain't. Everybody can beat everybody. It really ain't a super dominant team out there. You know, Golden State has experience now.
You want me to tell you why? Something going on. Yeah, I'm gonna end
But
on
it's
this.
about who shoot that 3.
I'm gonna end on this, and I'm gonna tell y'all why
Yeah.
Golden State gonna win this. So y'all don't want to hear it.
Talking about tomorrow or the whole thing?
The whole thing. They gonna. It
Okay.
might be the whole thing. Watch this. Where's Golden State playing at now?
They going to
Finna go to
Boston.
Boston.
No, I'm saying like what city is the team in now?
Frisco.
Frisco,
Okay.
and it's Pride Month.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
They
gone.
going down.
I'm gone.
Yeah. It's over with.
Golden State. Snap,
Hey.
crack and pop. That
They
Golden
going
State.
I low my line
It's
at
over with. It's Pride Month, man.
They going down.
And it's San Francisco. Shit.
Ain't no doubt.
Yeah. Dog.
Yeah.
It might be that year.
All
But,
the lights.
I feel like if that be the case, that means you know it going 7 then. That means tomorrow
Oh yeah, I
they
mean,
going
yeah,
back.
they might.
Boston finna beat them. And I feel like, I don't know, in a game 7, you know, unless it's some strange reason the NBA that won't see you win it, I think it can go either way with a team that prove they can beat you 3 times. You ain't beat them.
Yeah, it can.
So if y'all went 3-3,
Either way.
man, that ball can bounce either way.
They
Nah.
can.
We'll see though.
They
Kerr,
showed.
Kerr and them dogs, and like I said, I picked them from the beginning to win the series, but Boston showed a little fight. We're gonna see if they can take a step.
Yep. Well, that sound like a plan. That sound like a plan, man. Hey, look, next week we'll be back right here with Dad, Ass, and Melissa. If y'all don't know them, they one of America's funniest country couple.
They're gonna play a good one.
And they're going to come on, they're going to tell you about how they got started, what they doing now, how they traveling, how the online business work here and now. Ain't going to give you too much, you know, but they're going to give you enough to say, hey, damn, that's what's up. They didn't know that. So they'll be here next week. And then also, too, if you are in the Birmingham area, Gaston, what up, Pale City, Talladega, Tuscaloosa, Jasper, Clanton, and surrounding areas. Tomorrow, Comedy Club, Stardome. That's June 16th. Tomorrow, the doors open at 6:15. Show starts promptly at 7:30. Get them tickets at stardome.com. Those tickets are $20. If you want to reserve your seat, reserve birthday tables, the whole 9. Cash out me, $, Benny Mac 205. Put your name in the subject line. I have them for you at the door. Also, too, those beautiful shirts that's on the side of us with your stinking ass, with your lying ass. I gotta be resaved and recovering whole. They're on sale right now. You can go to the website and purchase those. Stop by the barbershop. Catch me at the start on, or simply call 205-585-7273. And you can get you one of them shirts. I got anything from small all the way to 5X. So come on with your lying ass, with your stinking ass, you recovering hoes, and you got to be saved. So that's what it is. I am comedic narrator, haircut slanger Benny Mac. We are Real True Barbershop, open 7 days a week. Come check out Corey, Sam, or Otha Luther King, or myself. We'll hook you up. So appointments available. Walk-ins welcome. 205-591-CUTS. 205-591-2887. We'll see you next week, episode 97. Dad, Ass, and Melissa. Tune in.
Go
Yes, sir.
Celtics. Just for this time.
96. Tune in there.